Good morning, Piers.
Good morning, and my sympathies immediately to you, Ali, for the disastrous failure of Scotland to combat my friend Cristiano.
I had you done for giving me at least 5 seconds clarity on it before you go, but fair play to you. Piers, I was going to say to you, mate, right, like, there's nobody, for example, enjoyed playing for a country more than myself. I belted out the Flower of Scotland. I loved it. I thought it was a great national anthem, proud to sing it. But I would not have had a problem with anybody not singing it.
Well, okay, I've always had a big problem with people that play for England at sport as players who don't sing the anthem. And I'll give you 2 examples where I had direct involvement. One was Wayne Rooney, who then became England captain and still wasn't singing it. And I actually had dinner with him and I said, you know what, you've got to start singing the anthem. And he went, well, you know, in Liverpool, it's not that, you know, it's not quite the same. I said, listen, forget all that. If you're the England captain or an England superstar at football, you should sing the national anthem. And you know what? He actually thought about it, went away, and he began to sing the anthem, and he used to belt it out. Similarly, Owen Morgan, when he was captain of England's cricket team, one day, best one-day captain we've ever had.
Yep.
Irish-born, but chose to play for England. He didn't sing the anthem, and I again criticised him and said, look, if you're going to be the captain of the England cricket team, then you've identified as English for that purpose, and you should sing the anthem. And you know what? To his credit, he then changed his mind and he then sang. But, and it's an important but, I do think it's different when it comes to the managers and coaches. Because, for example, Jack Charlton was probably the most revered manager of the Irish football team ever. He never sang their anthem, right? And nobody expected him to sing their anthem. We've had a Dutch manager of the England women's team. Nobody expects her to sing the English national anthem. She doesn't because she's Dutch. Fabio Capello never sang the anthem, and nobody expected him to. He's Italian. Sten-Goran Eriksson, to his great credit, had a go at it. He didn't sing it very well because it wasn't his anthem. And in the case of Carsley, the guy played, 50 times for Ireland. He's obviously chosen to identify as Irish. The idea that his first game as England manager of the national team, that he goes and plays in Ireland in front of Irish supporters where he played 50 times for Ireland, that he would then belt out the national anthem of England, I think is ridiculous. So I think it's horses for courses. I get the arguments about being patriotic and so on, but this guy's Irish. He just happens to be the manager of our team. Now, the bigger question is he any good? And I've been listening to the show this morning, and I think he's actually a bit of a breath of fresh air. It looks to me like England are immediately playing with more freedom than they did under Gareth Southgate, who I thought was very, very good. But I felt limited the handbrakes on our players. And I just saw enough with England against Ireland where I thought, you know what, if the handbrakes get released like this, we could actually exploit the obvious potential of this squad.
Piers, I wanted to ask you about Declan Rice, plays for the team that you support, Arsenal. Stuart Pearce there said that he believes that once you put the shirt of a country on, and it's a even if it's a friendly, it doesn't matter, you shouldn't be able to play for a different country. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that, because I think a lot of people have potential for dual nationality, particularly younger players. And I think that you see it in cricket. A lot of, Jofra Archer could have played for the West Indies, for example, but chose to play for England. And I think whether you initially pick one team or another or whatever, I do think if you've got the ability through your own personal upbringing to qualify for more than one country, you should be allowed to think about that. Perhaps make a mistake, perhaps choose the wrong one and then decide you want to play for another one. But once you've changed once, I would say this, you can't ever go back. And I don't think Declan Rice would ever now want to play for Ireland.
I'm not sure I agree with you there, Piers. I'm actually more with Piers here, because I honestly believe at full international level, I'm not talking about 21s, I'm not talking about youth, I'm not talking about the kids programme, but I think when you're of an age to completely understand the whole thing and make up your mind at full international level, I think once you put on that jersey, that's you. I don't think you should be allowed to change after that.
How old was he? How old was he?
How old was Declan?
Yeah. When he made that
that's
maybe
a
19,
question I can't answer.
19, 20 maybe?
19, I mean, come on. I mean, 19, 20, you think you're making a properly informed decision of that magnitude? I just think lots of players have done this over the years. And I think Declan Rice made a decision that actually he would rather play for England. People can have a view about it. Of course they can.
Yeah.
But I don't have any intrinsic problem with players who do that.
What about Lee Carsley, Piers? In terms of, I agree with you. I think it was a far more attack-minded team. I thought first half they looked excellent. Do you think he was? This might be a crazy thing to ask you. Do you think he was not lucky? Lucky's not the right word, but do you think with the fact that there was no Foden, no Bellingham, one or two top players pulling out the squad, no Cole Palmer, do you think the decision was slightly easier for him to play Anthony Gordon and Grealish in at 10?
Well, partly, but being a manager is making difficult decisions. I would love to have seen Gordon unleashed in the Euros.
Sure,
I think we had a much better tournament if we had. Same with Palmer. I just think these guys should have had more of a license. But I think there's a bigger problem with the England team in terms of how we perform in these tournaments. I happened to be at the cricket at the Test match with Roy Hodgson on Saturday, who I'd never met, and we sat with each other for lunch. What a fantastic bloke he is. We had an amazingly entertaining lunch. But I did say to him, what's going on with our team? I said, when we get to the Euros, like the recent one, I said, Roy, we had the best player in the Premier League, Foden. We had the best player in the Bundesliga. These are the guys who won the Player of the Season. Yep. Harry Kane, Player of the Season in the Bundesliga. Jude Bellingham, Player of the Season in La Liga. Why did they all play so poorly in the Euros? And he went, I honestly think they were just exhausted. He said, we battered these players. They play so much football. And he said if he had his time again as England manager, he would actually try and campaign to allow players who were facing an international tournament at the end of their club season to just literally go to the beach. Go to the beach and recharge. He said the problem is the players are so keen to perform well at the elite level of elite tournaments, at international tournaments, they don't give themselves a break after the end of the season. And they just go straight into ferocious training to be at what they think will be their peak in the tournaments. And actually, it has the opposite effect. And that really what they should do, he said, I would rather take the squad 10 days before an international tournament rather than 3-4 weeks. I thought that was a really interesting insight from a guy who was the England manager. I just think that, he is lucky. He's got an amazing squad. Gareth Southgate had one of the best England squads, arguably ever, but they just weren't able to perform at the level collectively they should have done. I think it's because a lot of them were knackered.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.